Okay, so our objective is to graph y equal negative 2 sine x plus 2 up to 2 period. The first thing is we're going to do is we're going to bring down our function just the way it is. And we're going to look at the letter a. The a is really right here, which is going to be negative 1. So go ahead, write it down. Find your a, b, and c. So a you could see is negative 1. And b is, what is our b, guys? B is right here. And b happens to be the coefficient of x. So our b is clearly, go ahead, b is 2. Okay, b is 2, write them down. B is going to be simply 2. And then write down your c. C is missing here. Right here, there's nothing there, so it has to be just 0. And then what is the d? D is right here outside, so d is going to be 2 also. So we want to find the amplitude. Now we have to remember the formula. Then we're going to look at the graph, what it really means. Amplitude is the absolute value of a, which is going to be just absolute value of negative 1, which is equal to 1. So that's our amplitude. Now, finally, the period. The formula for the period is 2 pi divided by b. What that means? This means we have 2 pi divided by the value of b, which is 2, which gave us just pi. So just remember that your period is pi. Now, once you find the period, now you're going to find the x-scale. So you want to find the x-scales. What's the x-scale? X-scale is simply the period divided by 4. Now, go ahead, take a second to write down the period. Excuse me, the x-scales. Now, why do we need x-scales to label the x-axis? And what is that? The period is pi divided by, all the time we're dividing it by 4. So it's simply pi over 4. Now, once we do this, then we're going to go back to our x and y axis and we label them. We do 1 pi over 4 and then 2 pi over 4, which is same thing as pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and then 4 pi over 4, which is just pi. We count it like that. So the left side is going to be the same thing, okay? In other words, 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarters, 4 quarter was just pi. You could always count like that, really simple. Once you're done with this, label your y-axis all the time, okay? So I'm just going to pick numbers from 1 to 5. Before talking about the amplitude, it's very important that you realize that sine function usually starts at 0, but in this case, we have a shift, which is our d. The d is equal to 2. This is really important. I want you to pay attention to that. So that means that we are moving from the origin 2 units up. So we are shifting the graph 2 units up vertically. So that means we're going to get a line equal y equal 2. Good. So now this is our new midline, okay? This is our new midline. From here on, pay attention to your amplitude. What is my amplitude? The amplitude is the absolute value of a, which happens to be 1. Now, what that means is that we are going to go 1 unit up from the midline. And this happens all the time. Okay, you could see it. And if you go up 1, you also go 1 down. Okay, and there you go. So remember that instead of thinking of starting from 0, you're going to start at 2. Okay, now let's review how a general graph of y equal negative sine x looks like. And I'm going to do it right here for you. So a general graph looks like this. Okay, let me get a different ink so you can see it more clearer. take black. So it looks like this. All you have to do is pick 4 values. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to label it. Just know the shape. It starts at the origin, okay, and then it goes to the max point. Then it's going to go back to the midline, going down, and then going back here. This is y equal sine x. But we're not dealing with y equals sine x. We're dealing with y equal negative sine x because we have a negative right here. So I am going to graph the negative sine x. So this is a good practice. How would that graph look like? Take a second to do that, okay? So again, I'm going to take this. So I'm going to do the graph of negative sine x, okay? So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the negative sine x is also starting at the origin, but instead of going up, it's going to go down, and then it's going to go back to the midline, and then it's going to go up, and then it's going to go down. So what does it mean? It's just going to go right here, and then it's going to go right here, and then it's going to come down. So that's really is starting at 0, going down to the min, coming back to the midline, going up to the max, going down. So we're going to do that. So except that we're going to start right here. So look at here. We start at 2 because we shifted the graph 2 units up, excuse me. And now we're going down because we have a negative coefficient, okay? There it is. Let me just show you the negative coefficient. It's right here. The negative coefficient. So what that means, you're going to go down. You cannot go lower than that, so you have to bounce back. Whoops. Let me get a pen. Going back right here. So we keep on going up till we reach the max. And then we're going to go back to the line. And we have a nice graph right here. Okay, that's the graph. Now, that's only one period. We are asked to do 2 periods. So what's going to happen? Then look at the value on the left is keep on going up. Okay, so we're just going to repeat the pattern. And then going to come down to the midline. And coming down to the min. And resting back to the midline. And just do this one also. So you could see that the graph is keep on going like that. Okay, try not to. That's a beautiful graph, by the way. So you can see that this is 2 period of the functions. From here to here is 1 period. Okay, and then you have another period right here. So that's 2 period altogether. Very important, just to recap, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our midline, the midline. From here on, we're going to go 1 unit up. So you're going to go 1 unit up and 1 unit down. Okay, once you do this, then make sure that once you have your amplitude, draw this line right here. So you can see that that really helps you where your min and max is. From there on, look at the general shape of the graph. Because this negative is going down. Okay, so this is, remember that this is really y equal negative sine x. Okay, because it's negative, so you start right here, you're going down and then up to the midline, going there and there. So basically, knowing every step here, you're really, really unstoppable. Thanks for watching and good luck on your next test or quiz. I'll have another presentation in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much. Please make sure to subscribe.